Let's make some focaccia bread, and we're going to make the dough in the bread machine. It's so much easier. And this is a little bit healthier than the traditional way because I'm using whole wheat flour and brown rice flour. So just set the machine to make dough, and we'll be back in a little over 2 hours to finish up. For the topping, I'm going to saute together a little onion, pepper, garlic, and basil. And I'm going to put some sliced fresh Parmesan cheese over it. We'll see how that comes out. Next, I'm going to cook up, just sweat this up. I don't have to show you how to do this. This is very easy. Put a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in there. Put it on a moderate flame. Cook it slowly for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to add to that, just before I take it out of the skillet, the 1 cup of loosely chopped fresh basil, tightly packed. So that's quite a bit. But I don't want to cook the basil, that's why I'm folding it into the cooked peppers. They could be green, red, yellow, whatever you want. Onions, shallots, you want to use onions, peppers. You can use shallots if you want. Really, you can put anything on the top of a focaccia bread. And I'm not putting it on raw. It gives a nicer flavor. And it's a quick bake, so I don't want the onions to be crunchy. This way they'll be soft. There, that didn't take long. I cooked that for about 3 minutes on a high flame. That's all I want. There's enough oil in there that I don't have to drizzle any on top of the focaccia bread before baking. And when this cools down, I'm going to add the basil to this. Mix it up and just wait till the dough is ready to be baked, and spread this all over with the cheese. And I also put a 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper in here and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt. Well, that's cooled off enough. We'll just add the basil. Just mixing it up so it's coated. The flavors are working well together here. And then we're going to put this on top, like I said. And remember, anytime you put things together in cooking, make sure you season all the items. Now we'll just wait. Now the dough is finished. I just wrapped it up, put it in the bowl here. Punch it down a little. Nice. Just a little bit sticky, but not overly wet. I'm going to let that sit there for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to roll it out. Now we're going to work the dough. Put a little flour. As you can see, you could probably tell, it did rise up a little bit more. It's like a double rising. Just seems to work better that way. Put that dough down there. Now you can make pizza with this also. And focaccia is not as thin as pizza. So that's it. Now I put it on my peel, a little cornmeal there, so it slides easy. And I have a stone in the oven, which I keep in there. And if you're using a convection oven, remember that it is to be 25 degrees less because it cooks faster. Now I'm going to put the topping, and I canceled the cheese. Why? Because this is a vegetarian. Putting the cheese doesn't go on all focaccias, so for this recipe I've canceled it. Now we just spread the topping around. And we don't need any extra olive oil on it because, as you can see, it's rather moist. And that's it. We're going to go in the oven for about 10 minutes at 400, and then we'll take a look at it. Now, I set the timer for 14 minutes and at 4 1/4. So we just slide that onto the stone very simply, and we'll come back in 14 minutes and take a look. Well, it's been 14 minutes, and this is what we wound up with. So we'll take a knife and we'll cut it. And if you don't want to use this, like today, you just take it and you put it in the freezer. But I'm going to have this with soup tonight. Now, this is healthy. So you cook this as it is. Then hours later, or the next day, you take it, you put it back in the oven at 300, 300 1/4, just to warm it up. The texture is very different than your typical focaccia because it's whole wheat flour and it's also rice flour, but it's healthier. Enjoy.